All right, good Monday morning. Thanks for watching our First Alert live stream. I'm Chief Meteorologist Steve Beylon, live in the First Alert Weather Center. Did you have a good weekend? Hopefully it was a nice one, right? You know, I'd be curious to know how many of you out there are in the pro-summer camp versus the pro-autumn camp. I feel like the weather is starting to become very polarizing this week. Some people are thrilled that summer just doesn't want to go away. Others are not as happy. I may have to do some more scientific research on this. In other words, put a poll on Facebook and see what people say. Anyway, a little nugget of knowledge for you. You probably have noticed our sunset has been getting earlier and earlier in the evening. And now we have hit that point where our sunset later today is at 7 o'clock sharp. And that means tomorrow and beyond, our sunset is in the 6 p.m. hour. We're losing just a little bit more than 3 minutes of daylight each day through the middle of this month. Today we're losing 3 minutes and 2 seconds of daylight. Exactly. All right, so there's plenty of daylight in Manitowoc, where there was some fog this morning. It looks a little hazy, but otherwise visibility is good there. Temperature is 61. Dew point also 61. And, when those two numbers match, that means your relative humidity is 100%. But, when we talk about how humid it is outside, we're often talking about that dew point. Whenever that dew point is at or above 60, it's a bit sticky. It's going to be a little bit humid today, but not quite as oppressive as it was at times over the weekend. Now, we've had some fog along the lakeshore. Visibility in Manitowoc has improved. 3 miles, 3-mile visibility in Escanaba, so that really shouldn't be a travel issue anymore. Temperatures are rising through the 60s. Oh, look at you, Wautoma. 59 right now. Don't worry, they'll catch up. 64 in Oshkosh, Green Bay, Fond du Lac. 62 degrees right now in Marinette. Up we go, back into the 80s, another hot mid-September day, just like yesterday, a high of 88 degrees in Green Bay. This time slightly humid. It won't be quite as sticky as it was yesterday. We'll have mostly sunny skies and south to southeast winds, pretty light, around 5, maybe 10 miles an hour. So we're really getting close to the first day of autumn. Fall officially arrives in 6 days. Does it feel like fall out there? No, and it's not going to anytime soon. Through the rest of this week, our highs are going to be in the 80s. Now, autumn officially arrives on Sunday. We just happen to drop back to a high of 77, but even early next week, our high temperatures will be above average. So 72 is your average high today. Those average highs will be dropping back into the upper 60s as we go into next week. So what exactly is going on? Why is it so warm for the middle of September? This is our next weather maker, this unusually warm mid-September weather and the drier than normal weather. It's going to last all this week. And this is why this is happening. It's because of the jet stream. Now, the jet stream, good 20, 30,000 feet up in the atmosphere, the winds that blow weather patterns, weather systems across North America. Notice the path that the jet stream is taking. It's going into Southern California, then going way up into Canada, and then coming down around a tropical area of low pressure that is in the Carolinas. That could become a tropical storm, by the way. And so that path that it's taking across North America resembles the Greek letter omega. If you've been part of a fraternity or a sorority during your college days and you can remember what that Greek letter looks like, that's the shape that the jet stream is taking across the United States and North America. And you may be thinking, so what? Well, it's a big deal because what's happening here is that this type of weather pattern really clogs things up. It's like a pipe that has a clog in it. You just can't pass water through it, right? Well, we can't pass weather systems from the Pacific Ocean to the Atlantic Ocean with this kind of weather pattern, because the jet stream is going as far north and south as it is going east to west. And so everything gets kind of gummed up. So the weather that you get day after day after day just continues. This dry weather is going to continue. And I'm being optimistic. I have today's rain chance at 10%. It's probably less than that. Maybe there's a shower or an isolated thunderstorm in north central Wisconsin. But really, most of the isolated showers and storms will be in western upper Michigan. But really, it's going to be dry. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday, I will put in a 30% chance of showers, and I'm skeptical of that because some of the data that I'm seeing is even pushing that rain back into the following Monday and Tuesday. So the weather looks dry. So that's why that omega pattern matters, because it just keeps us locked into the same repetitious weather. So here's first alert pinpoint predictor. We're getting just a couple scattered high clouds. Otherwise, looks like a mostly sunny day. Remember I mentioned that isolated rain chance in upper Michigan? You can kind of make it out if you look towards the top of your screen behind that pinpoint predictor banner. See those little stray green blips? Those are some of the isolated to widely scattered thunder showers west of Marquette, Michigan. Those will probably avoid the area. And with high pressure aloft in the atmosphere, I think we're going to stay dry again. High temperatures, about as hot as they were yesterday. Near 80 lakeside, but inland areas in the mid to upper 80s. 88 is a popular number for Wapaka, Shawano, Green Bay. About 87 for a high temperature in Pembine. The average high temperature for today is 72 degrees. So our high temperatures are roughly 15 degrees warmer than typical for this time of year. There's going to be some humidity today. Dew points are going to be in the low 60s later on this morning. And believe it or not, this is actually an improvement compared to yesterday. Earlier this morning on Action 2 News this morning, I showed the Aisha Frizzcast, which is a favorite for some of you out there, especially if you've got hair that goes wild in the humidity. It's in the curly category. So not frizzy, but curly. So there's that. All right, so another hot and somewhat humid day. This is your First Alert Super 7-day forecast. There are those 80s. Look at all that sunshine for the next few days. As a south wind begins to blow a little bit harder Friday into Saturday, we'll probably have the return of some humidity heading into next weekend. Probably some scattered clouds in with the sunshine, and then maybe there's some rain on Sunday. And that's a big maybe. All right, so a couple things I want to show you here on our First Alert Super 7-day forecast. I want to talk about tonight. Some stargazers are probably excited about this. The northern lights might be visible tonight. The key word is might. Trying to predict a solar storm is a lot harder than predicting a storm here on our own planet. But yes, there's a solar storm, and a lot of electromagnetic particles are flowing across the northern hemisphere, across the North Pole today and tonight. Of course, during the day today, you're not going to be able to see anything because it's daytime. But nighttime, we might be able to see the aurora borealis. Hard to say exactly when. That's always really tricky. I would say it's probably more likely in the evening as opposed to after midnight. But if you want to take a shot at seeing the aurora borealis tonight, you want to get away from city lights, get where it's nice and dark, no artificial light. Allow time for your eyes to adjust. Take some time, good 20, maybe 30 minutes. Get out your smartphone, make sure that it's on the night mode where it's got that long exposure, and hopefully you can get some pictures. We'll see. If you get any pictures of the northern lights, send them to WBAY.com/photos. That way we can share your work. Perhaps it'll end up in a newscast. If you get lucky and you get a good picture, we'll see. Also, I want to show here in the First Alert Super 7-day forecast, Sunday, Fox Cities Marathon. Big race. A lot of families down there. I did put that chance of showers in there. Honestly, I'm not confident at it happening during the morning as opposed to the afternoon. It's just a little far out to be sure, but I do think there's a chance. Otherwise, partly sunny, still a bit humid, temperatures rising through the 60s into the low 70s. I feel a little bit better about the temperatures than I do about the precipitation chance, for what it's worth. So it's going to be a little warm for the runners and a little humid. And, it's funny because last week we were mentioned the forecast for the marathon, and I was a little more hopeful last week that this front that's supposed to come through early next week would come through a little quicker, and it's showing signs of slowing down, which is not a good sign. And so I was hopeful at the end of last week that, it was around Thursday, I was hopeful that we would have a little bit of a cooler start to that marathon, but I'm thinking 60s and 70s will probably fit the bill. All right, so if you haven't downloaded our free WBAY First Alert Weather app, we are giving you all sorts of updates during the day. Videos updating every few hours. Our hour-by-hour forecast frequently changes and updates as we're getting new information and passing it along to you. And that QR code, you can scan that with your camera phone or your tablet, and it downloads it right to your device. You don't pay anything for it. It's nice to get things for free, especially when they're good things. So that's what I've got for you. I appreciate you watching our live stream. And, yesterday I decided I better go out and mow my grass. It's getting a little long, getting a little shaggy. I got to think to myself, how much longer is it going to grow? I mean, we've hit that point in the year where it's September, and usually the grass starts slowing down, despite the fact that it's warm. And with a lack of rainfall, I'm not sure how much more it's going to grow. So if you need to cut your grass, try to do it one of these mornings where if you're able to. Maybe you can't because you got to work. And I'm be curious to know how much longer you'll have to cut that grass. May not have to cut it too much more the rest of this year. All right, there you go. There's our Monday live stream. Thanks for listening to me ramble on about the weather and other thoughts in my head. I hope you have a marvelous Monday. Hope to catch you at this time tomorrow, and have a great day. See ya.